Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some exciting news. We got a new supercharger. We don't know what we're gonna put it on, but we have an extra one. Just kidding. So follow me, I'll show you why. So basically that supercharger is off the Sierra. I was working on it yesterday afternoon. I was trying to change all the pulleys that I had mentioned on my previous video, even the balancer, and fortunately we came across some issues that I wasn't expecting, but I'm glad it got caught right now than later, because me turning up the boost on this motor, we could have had it in a million pieces. So back here we have the Ella Simple kit. This is part of the kit. Here's all the other pulleys, the ones I swapped out. Here's one of them. And then here's the other one I was swapping out. And this one would go down here. Power steering pump sits right there. And then this whole kit obviously bolts up to the engine. I have my water pump over here. Intake. So I'm sure you could probably tell by now that something major is going on, because literally it's coming apart. I've noticed there's a lot of belt residue on my water pump. Well, that's besides the point. That ain't nothing. And I even have my coils here with the ICT billet spacers that I bought from. But anyways, enough of this. Like I said, I was upgrading the pulleys. I did the alternator one, as you can tell. I was gonna do the one from the power steering pump. I was able to take the old one off, and then when I got to the harmonic balancer, that's where I came across some issues, and I'm gonna show you that right now. So don't be surprised, but this motor is taken apart, or the whole accessory drives out. The supercharger is the new one we got. No, we didn't get a new one.
Not yet.
It's the one from the truck. So unfortunately, I have to pull the engine out. And like I said, that kind of sucks because of all the work that has to go into it. But I mean, luckily I do all the work myself. But it's just doing the work that kind of sucks. But anyways, power steering pump down here. As you can tell, I already took the pulley off. I was installing the overdrive balancer, and then I ran into an issue. I was trying to align the pinholes on the crank to the pulley, and they are a little off. The problem is I drove it in a little bit, and you know, obviously it's stuck now, so I have to pull it off with the puller. But that's not the issue. As you can tell, I already took the supercharger off. The coil packs that are in the back, the whole accessory drive, the water pump. Basically, this engine is coming out. The reason it's coming out is, and this is I think what happened to it, or what's going on with it. I would check the oil, and I don't know if I can see that right now or not. I haven't checked it in a while. See right here towards the end, you see the little, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you can see the little black coloring in the oil.
Oh yeah, you can see it just a little bit.
Yeah, so I just kind of smeared it off. There's no major, so you can see it in the oil right there, like the color of the oil. I mean, yeah, my hands are dirty, but you can see some right here. So I've noticed this probably even a little bit before it got tuned. I would check the oil, and I would notice a layer of like a black little film, like probably sits right on top of the oil. It comes up probably after sitting for a while. So come to find out that I think I found the issue why that's in the oil. And like I said, there's no major material or metal shavings. This engine, how it sits, it made 642. Obviously with the supercharger tuned and all that. But when I was trying to install the bottom balancer, I noticed something right here. You can tell, and you can hear it. It has crankshaft play, meaning the thrust bearings are bad. Or, I mean, well, obviously they're bad now because how much play it has back and forth. That's way too much. And like I said, I'm glad we caught it now, because my plans was to, I mean, the engine runs good and everything. Like I said, there's no metal shavings or nothing, but my plans was to turn up the boost on it to make 700 horsepower or close to 700 or even over 700. But finding this issue, I mean, it could have been worse, I guess you could say, because we could have not noticed this, taken it to get tuned, and we would probably be bringing back the block in a million pieces. It is an aluminum block 6.2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish pulling it out. Still got to remove the headers and undo the transmission and a couple of little sensors on the bottom, and I think what the motor mounts, and it'll be out. What I plan to do is put it on the engine stand, obviously take the oil out, drop the pan, remove the rocker arms, flip it over upside down, and try to undo the crank, the rod bearings or rod bolts, to check the bearings on the rods and see how bad the damage is on the thrust bearing. Like I said, I haven't seen any metal shavings. I've just noticed that little black film going on, and I mean, what could cause it? It could be a number of things. It could be from obviously the supercharger and how much pressure it's putting on everything. I don't know if it's transmission wise, converter pushing in or out, I don't know, but I guess once we pull it out and take it apart, we'll see what the damage is. I'm hoping, you know, worst case scenario, we'll have to throw a crank in it and a new set of rod and main bearings, which, you know, that's not that bad. I do not want to literally take the whole engine apart, because I really wouldn't really have to. That'd save me some money on the gaskets up top, you know, and all that, but I don't really want to pull all the pistons out either. But yeah, unfortunately, from me wanting to pulley up this engine for more boost, and I even left the nicely shiny Dirty Dingo power steering pulley in here. So this one's good side. The good thing about this is gonna replace, and it's gonna go right here on this shaft. I mean, I guess it looks nice and pretty, but anyways, that's besides the point at this point. And it's unfortunate, but like I said, I'm glad we caught it now than raising the boost, taking it to get retuned, and we have pieces of metal everywhere. And that could have potentially happened, and could have potentially happened when it got tuned. And you know, I understand I haven't made any videos of me doing pulls on it, but before I got rid of the Cosmes, I mean, I did several nasty pulls on the truck, and I mean, I've never had an issue with it or nothing. So yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks, but what I think sucks for me is all the work is taking it out and whatnot. But it's almost out anyways. I'll probably have it out here in the next couple days and on a stand, and we'll go from there. I'll probably just make a video on that, see what the damage is. Hopefully it ain't major, and yeah, I guess we'll go from there. The only other thing I did notice was on the supercharger, I had put a solid coupler or isolator coupler. I've noticed it has a little bit of play, so I'm going to take the snout off the supercharger and see what if it's the actual coupler. If it is, I could just replace the coupler. The shaft doesn't have play back and forth like the crank does. But anyways, that's where it's at now. From trying to make more power to now taking it apart and out of the truck. Like I said, it's not a huge deal. I'm glad we caught it now than, like I said, than us taking it, getting it dynoed and finding out there or destroying the engine there. So it was still fire and everything. So I fired it 2 days ago, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, 2 days ago. Well, I mean, when it was all put together, runs fine. I mean, it doesn't knock, doesn't do any crazy noises. But like I said, the thrust bearings on this, they're probably shot most likely. And, you know, good thing I haven't found any big metal shavings at all. But I guess once we open it up, that's when we're really going to find out to see what the damage is. Like I said, worst case, we'll have to throw a new crank in it or just new bearings. But I think I am going to just go ahead and do new rod bearings while I'm at it, because if I'm going to pull the crank out and leave the pistons in, it's right there. I might as well do it. And only other thing I do notice is it's probably been going on for a while, because I mean, the seal right here is pretty soaked. You can tell it's like literally wet all around here. So like I said, I'm glad I caught it now. Then, you know, could have been worse. So fortunately, that's where we stand with the LSA supercharged truck. And yeah, so I'll probably just make another video once I have this out, just to probably show the damage or see what it is, and go from there. So appreciate you guys for liking, subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video.